So, dear students, today we are going to discuss the different citation styles, and in that series, today we will go through the first citation style, that is MLA style. So, this citation style is used on a large scale in the whole world, right? So, MLA style or Guide to MLA Documentation is called the Bible of research. The Bible of research, or let's say the Bhagavad Gita of research, means all the rules and regulations of research are there in MLA handbook, right? So let's go through the concept of MLA. So what is MLA? MLA stands for Modern Language Association. This is the full form of MLA, Modern Language Association. So this MLA citation style is applicable for the research in each and every area in the world. So it is not necessary that MLA should be followed by the students of language only. No, right? So MLA is followed by the research scholars of different subjects also, right? Like arts, science, commerce, right? These three streams follow MLA or APA style, right? So Modern Language Association, right? So MLA style refers to a system of citing research sources. Yesterday, we saw research papers, right? So, while writing research papers or while writing thesis, we need resources. We don't need sources of data, right? So, if we copy some material from some book or from some journal or magazine, we need to cite, we need to acknowledge, right? So MLA helps us to acknowledge the citing process. So this resource or research source may be some novel, maybe some drama, maybe some journal, maybe some periodical, maybe some interview, or maybe some online source, right? So we need to cite, and that in that process, MLA helps us a lot. So MLA is nothing but a stock of guidelines, how to cite. These rules are included in MLA handbook. It's a handbook, okay? The text MLA means a handbook, right? So references in the text must clearly point to specific sources in the list of works cited. When a research paper ends or a chapter in a thesis ends, so at the end of that research paper or at the end of that chapter in the thesis, right, it is followed by the section that is works cited. Works cited. Here, works cited simply means the books or the source from where we got the sentences copied. Right? Suppose that I am studying Chitra, the novel by Rabindranath Tagore, and if I am quoting, I am copying some sentences from Chitra by Tagore, what I should do? I should cite it, right? I should cite it. So, in that list of works cited, I must add the novel Chitra by Rabindranath Tagore. So, the work cited here means the data taken from the sources. Again, let me tell you that sources can be a novel, can be a drama, can be a magazine, can be a periodical, can be a newspaper also, right? So online sources are also one of the parts of works cited process. So from wherever I've been getting some sentences, some paragraphs, some lines, some definitions, I have to acknowledge at the bottom of the research paper or at the bottom of my thesis chapter, right? So identify the location of the borrowed information. Borrowed means copy information as specifically as possible. So we have to specify the source. See, these two lines are written by this author, Gibaldi. Okay, I have acknowledged it. Okay, and taken from the page 214. So again, these two lines are written by this author, this person, on page 215. Right? So there is no name of the text over here. So the name of the text can be found at the end of that research material. That research material means research paper or the chapter of the thesis, right? So at the end of that research paper or thesis, I must mention the name of the author, the name of the text, the publication company, then the year of publication of that book, then the page number. But while writing, right, just mention the name of the author and the page number. That's it. See, you must provide information that will allow the reader to locate exactly where you found information. Suppose that some research paper is written by Pratik. Okay, Pratik has published some research paper, or Pratik has done his PhD, and I am just reading his thesis. Then Pratik has acknowledged this sentence or this definition from this text, right? So if when I read the research paper by Pratik, then I would have exact sources, right? Exact source. And if my study is related to the study of Pratik, then what would happen? I would go for that text, right? So it can save my time, right? So we should locate exactly where you found information in your sources. So usually this is the author's last name and a page number. For example, Patil, the name of the author, and the page number 188. See, the example is there. The drama Chitra highlights the theme of true love and trust in relationship. This is a quotation. I just copied it from some book written by this person, that is Patil. Right? Surname should be there, not the first and the middle name. Surname. So Patil, right? Then the page number where I got these two lines from that book. The name of that book would come at the end of works cited section. The research paperच्या शेवटी किंवा त्या PhD चॅप्टरच्या शेवटी एक सेक्शन असणार वर्क्स साइटेड. तिथे बाकीची इन्फॉर्मेशन म्हणजे पाटीलने कोणतं पुस्तक लिहिलेलं आहे, केव्हा लिहिलेलं आहे, त्या पुस्तकाचं नाव काय, कोणत्या वर्षी ते पब्लिश झालं, कोणत्या पेज नंबरवर आलेलं आहे, ही सगळी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपल्या वर्क साइटेड मध्ये दिसेल, right? So these two lines are written by Mr. Patil. That's it. So I copied these two lines from Patil's text, but it is not a theft. It is not plagiarism, because I am acknowledging Patil's name, acknowledging the page number, acknowledging the text from where I got these two lines, right? So that's the style of citing. So MLA, as I told you earlier, that it is nothing but a list of rules, and these rules we must follow. We must follow. So these rules are official. So MLA style paper, be typed on white paper, right? A research paper and PhD thesis should be written, typed, printed on white paper. See the size of the paper. This is the size of the paper, and we have to follow this. Generally, A4 size paper is used, and A4 size paper fulfills this condition. So these conditions, these rules are strictly followed in the world of research. Double space everything, right? Between two lines, double space should be used. If you have the knowledge of computer, you would understand in a better way. So within the two lines, the space should be doubled, right? Then if the research paper is written in English, right, then a particular font should be used, and the particular font is Times New Roman. Generally, no other font is allowed rather than Times New Roman font, and the size of the font is fixed, that is 12. So if I want to type a research paper, if I want to type a PhD thesis, then if it is in English language, then I must type it in Times New Roman font with 12 font size. I have to follow double space everything. I have to follow this size of the paper, right? But in the case of other languages of research, suppose that my research is in Hindi, right? Suppose that my research is in Marathi language, then the font would be changed. The font would be changed. Then the rule would be different in the case of other languages. But we are talking about English language. So font Times New Roman, font size 12, double space. It is mandatory, it is compulsory, right? Why it is compulsory? We don't have any right to ask. That's it, right? Leave only one space after punctuation. If it is full stop is there, then leave only one space. If inverted commas are there, after completion of that inverted comma, just leave one space, right? Like that. Set all margins to 1 inch on all the sides. All the sides means square. Suppose that the page is square, right? We have to set the margin. Suppose that this is a page. This slide page is A4 size page. From this point, you have to leave 1 inch space margin. From this corner, you have to leave 1 inch space. From upper side, same space. From lower side, same space. Right? Indent. The first line of paragraph, 1/2 inch. Right? So students who have the knowledge of computer, they must understand in a better way. Indent means from where the paragraph starts, the first line of the paragraph should have the space of 1/2 inch, right? That's it. So these rules we have to follow. And APA style, paper should have a header with page numbers located in the upper right hand corner. As you know that each page has header and footer. Header means the head or the upper side of the page. Suppose that this is the page, right? So this is the header side and this is the footer side. Okay. So header side must be used to indicate page numbers. So you can indicate page numbers over this side corner. It's a rule. Okay. In the upper side hand corner. पेज नंबर जे आहे तर पेजच्या राइट साइड कॉर्नर अपरला इथे आले पाहिजे. सपोज that's the rule. Use italics for titles. If there is title of some book, title of some magazine, title of some drama, title of some novel, title of some research paper, it should be in italics. Suppose that Chitra by Tagore, Chitra should be in italics, right? Hamlet by Shakespeare, Hamlet should be in italics, right? Romeo and Juliet, right? It should be in italics. Italics, you must know italic, right? कम्प्युटरचा नॉलेज आपल्याला बरंच आहे, त्यामुळे इटॅलिक काय आहे त्याचं काही सांगायची आवश्यकता नाही आहे. Place end notes on a separate page before the list of verbs cited. End notes on a separate page before the list of verbs cited. End notes. Many concepts are there, right? Many cultural concepts are there, and these concepts should be cleared, right? Suppose that if some Indian author is writing some research paper, okay, and if that research paper is read by a person out of India, right, and if there happens to some cultural context, then there comes a problem of interpretation, right? Suppose that if I use the word Mangal Sutra, right? Mangal Sutra or Kanyadan, for example. So Mangal Sutra, Kanyadan, these things are found in India only. It's a cultural concept, right? But if a person from America or Africa reads my paper and if he finds the word that is Mangal Sutra or Kanyadan, then that person would be confused because he has no knowledge of Kanyadan and Mangal Sutra. He would find the name in some dictionary. But as you know that Kanyadan, Mangal Sutra, these words are not found in any dictionary, right? So what is the responsibility of the writer then? So it is my responsibility that, suppose that on page number 2, there is a mention of the word Kanyadan or Mangal Sutra, then I have to explain the meaning of the word Kanyadan at the bottom of that page. That is page number 2, right? So I would type the word at the bottom, Kanyadan dash, then I will explain the word. I will explain the term, right? Like that. So if it is not explained, what would happen? The person other than India would be confused. Right? For example, if there is a word, Herculean task, and if a person from India reads the concept Herculean task, right? Fighting against corona is a Herculean task. So again, the concept is the Herculean task. So automatically a question would come to in my mind that what is the meaning of the word Herculean task? Then I have to go through some dictionary, but it is not necessary that all such words would be found in dictionary. Many words are not there. So what is the responsibility of the writer? Then the writer should explain the concept of Herculean task. He has to explain who was Hercules. जसं आपल्याकडे भीम आहे, भीम concept, right? Bhim was very mighty, very powerful character, but Bhim is related to India. In the same way, Hercules is followed in Western culture, right? So that's the issue. मग अशा सगळ्या गोष्टी कुठे तुम्हाला ऍड करावं लागतं तर end note, right? Like that. अशा भरपूर गोष्टी आहेत ज्या मिथिकल्स आहेत, कल्चरल आहेत, या गोष्टी. आता एखादा शब्द जो आहे लक्ष्मण रेषा, फॉर एक्झाम्पल लक्ष्मण रेषा is used in English. It's an English word now, right? If suppose that I am writing my research paper and I am using the word Lakshman Resha, right? That Chitra should not cross her Lakshman Resha. This is the sentence. Chitra should not cross his Lakshman Resha, then what would happen? A person out of India would not understand the meaning of Lakshman Resha, even though it is accepted as an English word. So it is my responsibility to write the whole explanation of the word Lakshman Resha. Then while explaining the word Lakshman Resha, I have to explain who was Lakshman. Again, I have to explain who was Rama. Again, I have to explain who was Sita. Again, I have to explain the theme of Vanvasa, right? Like that. So when such things are to be explained, such things should be explained at the end notes, at the end notes, right? That's a separate section. The first page of an ML style paper. See, have no title page, double space, everything, list of your name, instructor's name, the course and date at the upper hand corner, center the paper title. This is the cover page. Let me tell you, this is the cover page. Suppose that there is some thesis is there, then the first page of thesis should be blank, right? The second page, again you have to follow double space. On the second page, there will be some information of the writer's name, the name of the guide, that is instructor, the course, that is MPhil, PhD, like that, the date, year, upper left hand corner, right? So all these things we have to follow. Then at the center, there should be the paper title, right? Use standard caps, but no underlining. No underlining should be there to the title. No italics. If there is some title of the text, then it should be in italics. There's no quotation marks or bold typing, right? So that's the rule we have to follow while writing the title, right? So create an header. So header should be created, right? At the bottom again, there would be a page number. So this is the rule. So the example is there, the name, right? Header is there. See, double line spacing, Times New Roman, font is 12. This is the sample. Tomorrow we will discuss the concept of MLA in detail also. Time is running up, so let's stop over here. Thank you very much.